Prime Minister, you mentioned workers' rights in your earlier statement. The government's published some draft clauses around workers' rights. Do you think they go far enough in terms of protecting and enhancing workers' rights?
Well, I think it is important that we have within our legislation the commitment that we've given within the Withdrawal Agreement about non-regression in terms of workers' rights. As you will know, actually this government and this country has workers in many areas has workers' rights that are above those that are provided by the European Union legislation. Obviously, the issue of workers' rights is one of those that has been raised with us by members across the House, but particularly raised by the official opposition. And it's one of the issues that we will look at to see whether how we can ensure that commitments that have been given by the government on workers' rights can be enshrined and clear for the future.
I mean, I think we can go much further now, and there are simple ways of tightening it up. So if you look at Section 1 of the draft clauses, it only applies to relevant bills, while Section 2 is vague on exactly which areas of legislation. So who would decide what's relevant, Parliament or the government?
This is, one of the issues that we're trying to ensure is that there is sufficient capability and ability for Parliament to be able to look at these issues, and the question that when there is any change in the European Union, government making obviously a statement as to whether or not we believe that is an enhancement or not, and Parliament then having the opportunity to give its opinion on that, I think is an important. But it's getting that balance between government and Parliament right. That obviously will be one of the issues that will be debated when we do come to the withdrawal agreement bill.
So, building on that, my understanding of the draft clauses are that it only commits the government to make a statement on new bills, but it does not say it has to make a statement on whether or not it removes any workers' rights or any other protections. So it's still quite wishy-washy.
I think the intent is that government would be making clear to Parliament whether in its view, any decisions that have been taken in the European Union in relation to workers' rights were an enhancement of workers' rights, or what the interaction with the UK legislation was in relation to this. But I'm happy to look at the specific point that you've raised about the language within the clause.
Thank you. And then finally, for me, I think that no Parliament's able to bind its successors, and as the proposals are currently formatted, it does look as though there's not any actual legal protections. It's just consultations and reports. So I'm just concerned that we can go much further if we tighten up the language.
Well, I mean, we're certainly looking at what it would be appropriate to put in legislation on this issue. So once again, I'm happy to take those points.
Thank you, Prime Minister.